News from November 2018 excerpts. 11:1. Dawning ocean sky, clear aqua and coral clouds. My morning plunge. 11:4. Pretty day, Sunday, inside making things orderly, making piles disappear, grading virtual stacks, online presentations on Luther, Michelangelo, Vico, Bernini, Newton, Machiavelli. Something maybe they won't forget no matter who, what they become. Afternoon, 5 friends writing group. Somehow the prompt that catches spark is bonfires. My poem. What do you want to do now that the alarm is ringing in the next room? You're going to have to get up, walking down the hall, and by yourself make the silence you need. It's really not such a bad thing to be reminded that time is passing. Maybe even running out. The dripping faucet, the creek out back in summer. Will these things always keep running? You know the feeling so well. The 2-lane at 11 o'clock, the moon out front high and far away in the road. Does it really go on forever? How far did you want to drive that day, this day ever? And back home, remember home? That room down the hall where the bell is clanging. It contains your life savings, treasures, clippings, photos, letters, mementos, junk. You realize collecting was your life's work. Doing things only because you wanted a memory of it. Collecting relics of your own sacred life, and now that bell is ringing and you imagine all this debris, the clutter of your one life in the pasture behind the house, in flames. (11:6). The evening ritual. Dusk, fall, chill, dog sniffing, gold dead leaves, and ghost whiffs of landscapes, migrant history, and scent loss. Here his piss, there his shit. Then dinner, empty bowl, suddenly full again. In 1 hour, polls will close and ballots will be raked together and counted. TV's snout tabulates the fragrant, fading trails of our redolent republic. (11:8). You can't even sculpt an opinion worth sharing about Trump's firing the Attorney General before news breaks out that 12 more have bled from a lone gunman in California. 11:11. Frying bacon in cast iron skillet. Standing at kitchen window, watching leaves descend like memories neglected, like promises broken this windless morning for no reason other than it is time. Stabbing slices of meat, turning them over in sizzle fat, smoking. Sipping my coffee, and the leaves sway like glinting coins falling in a wishing well, a dance, a swirl of hips, a hand reaching out, an invitation, a memorial. a whirl of gratitude and winter's peace announced. Upon this ground, the drench of ginkgo's lemon leaves and grass, like pooled golden blood of the slain.
(11:16) Autumn leaves, fallen upon ice, stained as if stabbed by shards of glass. 11:17 2 days of reading and marking my freshman's research papers, almost final drafts. If I wish to be sullen, I could be. Is APA really that difficult? Is a thesis sentence that does more than name and enumerate really such a foreign concept? Do they really think I cannot tell a 16-point typeface from the required 12-point? But I'm not. My frustrations are like ice, hard and cold until the light broadens and the winds warm. Now drinking decaf in Barnes & Noble just to have something different to look at before I write the last evaluation for this set of drafts, in hope that the final drafts on Monday reflect our efforts. I'll refresh the chilled waters of style with random sips and dips into the new. Ah, here, John Meacham splashes upon me. The good news is that we have come through such darkness before.
11:18 I live 2,697 miles from Paradise, California. Google tells me that I am 1 day and 15 hours away if I drive without stopping. If I did, when I arrived, I would not find paradise. Unless one thinks that paradise is 14,000 burned out houses. Instead, I watch the videos on YouTube of the Camp Fire and of the Woolsey Fire north of Malibu. Parents singing to their children and the walls of flame stretching out, fingers of fire, blazing stalks, spitting embers, crimson teeth caught in the currents, and the child begging, "Are we going to die?" And the parent maybe making one last lie. Every promise is a prayer. How can it be a traffic jam leaving paradise? Automobiles stalled and abandoned, a neighbor frantic, breathless, sprinting through the midnight dark smoke of that terrible morning. And there I was last night in the auditorium at EMU, watching, listening to students in their end of semester gala, playing Bernstein, Merchant, Holsinger, Mussorgsky, and concluding with Fauré's Requiem. And that is why I woke up thinking about paradise. Requiem aeternam, Kyrie eleison, Christi eleison. Over 70 have died and maybe 1,000 missing. Free the souls of the dead from the punishment of hell and the deep pit. Into paradise, may angels draw them on your arrival. May the martyrs receive you and lead you into the holy city.
11:25 Lying in bed last night, thinking I had not added to this thing for several days, I tried to think about what I would add. I suspect you are tired of hearing about my busy days, the grading. I'm tired of writing about that also, so enough for now. I thought about the drive from my sister's yesterday after Thanksgiving with family. Rain all the way, cold, the trees leafless, the gray wet for 5 hours. There is something there I can't quite get to. The way the limbs reach like fingers, naked, wet into the dull, bare air, like hands without their green mittens, each twig, each branch, each tree in its own rain. I know that shiver, that merely myself desire, the necessity to pull tight into oneself, to encase, to glaze over and wait and wait. And anyway, this is not the poem I wrote last night in my head, lying in bed, thinking I should get up and write it down. But today I remembered that I was remembering the trees. I thought then they might be beautiful, but there was this poem instead.
11:27. My poet friends in Austin, the ones I meet with some Sundays through video, sometimes worry about what a poem actually is and whether they are actually writing poems or something else, something shamefully lesser. You can tell I don't worry about that these days, at least not in exactly the same way they are worrying over it. I began this year reading A.R. Ammons's tape, spooling into the year, and Ammons's negligent poetics gave me the permission I was needing. But even he would worry over this big question about what it is when we commit ourselves to communing with language and listening to it and trying to find a freedom for ourselves by caging wild words. Of course, most folks don't look at it that way. Even Ammons spoke about the muse, waiting on the muse, enticing the muse. Where the fuck is the muse? Where did she go wandering off to? What the hell does the muse want from us? Like all we poets ever do is speak softly, begging over and over every day and night, pitifully like a groom urging his nervous virgin out of the bathroom. Or maybe it is that we are shocked when the muse shows up in the kitchen naked, and there we are, all grimy from working on the car in the garage, and wow, really? Now she is ready? And anyway, that metaphor seems so stupidly patriarchal these days. So what is it that we do? How do we know if we are doing it well? I think I have quit asking those questions, not because I believe that there are better or lesser poems, or that there are not poets better than I am. Geez, wouldn't that be a silly thing to say at this point in this year with this project coming to an end? And if you have read this far, and you certainly have come to some sort of conclusion about your wasted time, or not, it is just that this is what I do. And I'm attempting to do it well, to have a little fun along the way, to use the knowledge that I have, some tricks that I have seen others use, and never ceasing to believe that I am living my life as if it were a poem, that there is poetry all around me. If I would just wake up and see it, hear it, and then write it down, and for me to write this year down without the fuss of trying to show off, unless somehow showing off seemed to be the exact right thing to be doing then. But now, it's time to go to work. Right now, I'm running kind of late.
And that, my friends, is the news from November 2018.